Standing here in Reata today, 32,000 square feet. Company has been around for 30 years. I got a buddy, Adam, on camera today, and I really enjoyed my conversation with him. This young man is only 20 years old, got into manufacturing when he was 17. If you saw his resume, you'd think he was 35 or 40 by now. My 12 years of manufacturing, he's already done more than I did in that 12 years. But I want to learn more today, and I know you do too, about the software side of things. We're going to talk Datanomix. We're going to talk Fulcrum. Adam is the man to talk about that because he picked my brain a little bit and he asked me a few questions like, how much time are you still wasting when counting parts? How much time are you still wasting on the paperwork side of things? What happens when you can remove all that? That's what you started to dive into. That's what Reata started to dive into. And they have already seen massive successes. And I want to share this with you. Adam, thank you for being here. You have recently jumped into, I won't even say stick a toe into, you have jumped into the software side of things here at Reata. Grady is a legend in our industry. What has software brought to this company?
Yeah, I mean, it's brought clarity. I think, when we look at all these different softwares we have, I mean, we spend a lot of money on software. And we a lot of people, a lot of other machine shops are looking at this and are like, why would you spend the money that you're spending on software? What's it doing for you? And what it's really done for us is given us clarity, has given us confidence in the things that we are doing, and we know that we're doing them right. When it comes to Datanomix, we know, are we making this part how we should be? Are we making it to what we quoted? Are we making money on this part? When it comes to Fulcrum, are we running the jobs in the right order? And when we look at all these different softwares, especially with Datanomix, we have all this data coming off of these machines, and we really want to use that to drive efficiency, but also drive ourselves forward, especially in this ever-changing industry. With Datanomix and with Fulcrum, we really wanted to bridge that gap, and that comes with integration. And the teams at Datanomix and Fulcrum have been so helpful in really kind of patching that vision for us.
I'm going to do something a little bit controversial, which I should be doing. It might be, my comments might take an overload from doing something like this, but I want you to help me go on a journey with you. We've already mentioned your age, being a young man. We've already mentioned Grady being a legend in the industry. The controversial part I want to bring up is the different dynamics between a boomer generation and the generation that you're in right now, and the stereotypical mindset of being stuck in a way of we've always done it this way and it's working for me, versus being open enough. As I look around your shop with you right now, Adam, I don't know, but if I would take a guess, I would say mid-20s, early 30s is the average age here. And Grady has embraced the newest technology as we've just described. So take me through the journey of you coming in here, these other young men and women coming in here, what it was like before, the complications of what it was like before adapting this type of software, and what has been removed, the complexities, the stress, the overhead, the time wasting, the lack of efficiency. What has been truly changed when you brought it all in-house?
Yeah, I might say something controversial as well.
Excellent, I'm glad we're both doing it.
When we're looking at it, we've definitely had a lot of new people come in, and we actually have an office where I think it still stands as kind of a relic or an example of, it's a whiteboard in an office with all the machines and, oh, this is the next part to run, this is the next part to run, this is the next part to run. We keep that there, we haven't erased it. And we keep it as kind of a reminder to, this is the old way of doing things. And we're trying to look now at the newer way of doing things. And, I visited Fulcrum and we've talked to Datanomix, and the mistake a lot of shops make, even shops that, inherit these softwares, they don't use the software the way it was meant to be used. And I mean, we've talked to Fulcrum, and we've gone through and kind of dissected, oh, this is what they meant. And when we're aligned in that way, we really start making some really magical things happen. And I mean, the team we have is extremely young. We've got a really young engineering team now, and they've really embraced that software, and they've started doing things that even I couldn't imagine doing with it. And a lot of the other guys on the floor, they come and ask questions. Hey, if I do this in Fulcrum, how does this help you guys? Or, oh, what's Fulcrum mean by this? Or, hey, what's Datanomix mean by this? And they treat it as kind of like a game. I mean, we have guys who look at the cycle time on Datanomix who are like, oh, I can beat that. And are like, oh, I'm going to make this adjustment in the program. And that's the gamification I think comes from this generation. It comes from, we're not treating this as such a serious industry anymore. It's not, we gamify it and we find ways to make it more efficient. I mean, Grady says, the newer machines that we have, guys who are younger can kind of treat these as like iPads and understand, oh, this is where I go on the control for this. I just think that's a really, really, really cool thing that we're seeing and we're doing. And it's just really, really cool. I mean, when you walked around and you saw, our machinist, looking at the program and looking at the part in Fulcrum, looking at the instructions, looking at Datanomix. I mean, it's like we're all connected. And that's a little bit of an anti to what a lot of people say about this generation, is we're not connected, but we've gone a little bit more technical, and I think we're a little bit more connected now in just a different way.
I like that you said that. I'm inspired by the shop here. I'm inspired by you, Adam. I'm being honest. I know that looking at the machine behind us, when I think about a mill-turn machine in general, the complexities that can come with it, but the possibilities that can come with it as well. You and I have talked about AI and asking the right questions and understanding how to create efficiencies. I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag just a little bit for someone who watches this video and might give you a call in 2-3 years from now. You like software so much that you're creating your own. Shh, don't tell anyone, it's coming later. But as a general rule, that's your passion. So the question I want to ask you is, why Datanomix? Why Fulcrum? There's a lot of opportunities and options out there, and you've gone through a few of them. You've tested, you've had phone calls and Zoom meetings, and you've made sure that, to your knowledge and your experience, these are the solutions for you. Why Datanomix? Why Fulcrum?
Yeah, so I'll throw out a technical term. I'll explain it in a second, but it's APIs, and it's connection. API stands for Application Programming Interface. That just means that this software has doorways that you can connect to and you can talk to it. Whether that means, oh, I can send part counts into Fulcrum, or I can pull data out of Datanomix. That connection is what allows us to have kind of a connected manufacturing solution. These aren't just individual softwares. We kind of treat our tech stack, what you call, all the different software you have, we treat it as building blocks to one kind of unified idea that we're looking for. We're looking for a really great execution system. We're looking for a really great, this is the software that runs the shop, that tells us what to do and how to do it, controls, kind of all the enterprise level stuff, our ERP. And then we're like, how do we know that we're running the jobs well? We're like, we're gonna plug in Datanomix here. Oh, how do we know that we're pricing the parts well? Well, we're gonna plug paperless in here. You can get all these softwares and you can have them all be separate, but the magic is when you start connecting them together. I heard something at the Fulcrum office recently that I really took home with me was, if the data lives somewhere else, no one should have to plug it into another system. So the part counts live on the machines, the cycle time lives on the machine. That does not need to be put in by an operator into Fulcrum. That needs to be taken out of Datanomix and put into Fulcrum live. And that's really what integrations are. And I know a lot of other shops that we've talked to are now kind of on the same bandwagon with us. We've pushed this, and they want it now as well. And I think that's a really, really magical thing. And it's going to allow us to do so much more, because we're not, a machinist is not a great machinist because he's able to put part counts in a system really well. He's a great machinist because he's able to make great parts. And what we want to do is we want to allow him to focus his full mind on making great parts and let the systems do what the systems do.
Incredibly well stated. Incredible. Thank you so much. You actually made my heart beat a little bit faster. You got me so excited. The last question I want to ask you today, Grady, we've gone through potentially controversial subjects of age dynamics, but I want to do it again. And that's how I want to close this out. We've talked about clarity of what all of this software has brought to you. Yeah. Why Datanomix? Why Fulcrum? Why these are the decisions that you've made? The fact that you have a passion for all of this to begin with. The programming side, the data side, AI is so informational if we utilize it correctly. I want to ask the question of, because I get to travel the world, I get to see a lot of shops. I am inspired by the age demographic that you're in right now. for many multiple reasons. What would you say to the shops out there that say, we've always done it this way, I don't need to adapt the software, I already know how my shop runs, I already know the parts, I have my knowledge, I've been doing this for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. I'm of the opinion, because I'm gonna make sure you're not the only one I'm throwing under the bus here, I'm of the opinion you have to adapt. This is the future, this is the now, but I would love to hear a perspective of someone like yourself who is so involved, that knows it so well, and has created a successful environment here at a 30-year-old company, 32-year-old company, and I would love to hear it from you, your perspective. It doesn't have to be mine, I just wanted to do that for you so you're not the only one in case we agree.
Yeah, I mean, you're either gonna be too late or you're gonna be too early. And it's one of those things when you see software and you see all the advancements, it's inevitable. There's no question of, is this going to work? What I'll say is these companies like Fulcrum, Datanomix, Paperless, they have funding for a reason. And due to that, you know, there are people who agree, there are other shops who feel that, you know, this is the way to go. There are many other shops who've gone in the deep end. And I have shops calling me now and emailing me now asking for, hey, now that I have Fulcrum and Paperless and Datanomix, how can I, you know, my customer service manager has to do this every single time. How can we automate that? And, you know, the machines are great and the machines are gonna get, you know, better, sure. But they've reached a point where they're already so advanced. I mean, you see a mill turn that can make a part in one operation. Now, what shops like us are looking for, we're looking for lean in the front office. And how do we get prints? How do we get, you know, specifications? How do we get jobs down to the shop where the work actually happens as fast as possible? How do we get rid of all the minutia and all of the kind of red tape that we have to go through and do that in a way that allows us to really excel at what we do? And that's what I think software is going to let us do. That's what I think Datanomix, Fulcrum, Paperless, all these different software companies are going to let us do. And you know, it's just inevitable. If people are still kind of on the cusp, I understand. And what I say to a lot of people is, you know, see what, you know, your kids are doing, see what the younger generation is doing, and see how they take, you know, see how they take something that may seem difficult to maybe the older generation, and how they maybe make that seem silly, you know. And it's kind of funny because we've had a lot of processes here that seem like, oh, this is this big deal, and we gamify it and we make it fun, and we do it with a smile on our face, and people look at everything that we have here, and they want to make it better, they want to make it more advanced, they want to make it faster, and they want to do that with new technology. I mean, our statements were technology driven, and I mean, you can see it around us. And I mean, it's just, I mean, there's not much more I can say. I mean, it's just come and see. You know, if people are really against it, I'd open up our doors to them and have them come and see it. And once people do see it, they want to jump head first, and they're like, how can we do what you guys are doing? And I think that's just what it is.
Adam, today you are my hero, my friend. Thank you for inspiring me today, very likely inspiring a lot of other people. And as a person who has seen manufacturing in hundreds of shops around the world, thank you for giving manufacturing and the future of manufacturing hope. That is what you do, that is what your colleagues do, that is what people of your age demographic do. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for joining me on camera and sharing this with the audience.
Yeah, thank you.